I'm very excited about donor advised funds and the broader category of philanthropy and charitable giving, more so the time in the world that we live in now, but I've been doing it since 1988. So most of our clients have at least a donor advised fund, but we've been doing all kinds of instruments with charitable trusts and CLATs and things of that nature. People have really three choices what to do with their wealth during their lifetime and post-lifetime. And that is, they can give it to a human being, they can give it to a charity, or they can give it to the IRS. 96% of the high net worth through our studies and our experience is they want to know what they can do philanthropically and how could they benefit from that. It's a door opener to talking about something that everybody's afraid to talk about or doesn't talk about. It's like, how do I prepare for my estate? Where do I get buried? You know, they'd rather talk about transforming someone's life or some organization that they really care about. My favorite story would be my first charitable remainder trust client, but we did start with a donor advised fund, and this was a CEO of a Fortune 100 company, and it goes back into the early part of my career when I was still earning my stripes. And he had a complex situation. He had a lot of real estate. He had 2 oceanfront duplexes, and half of it was owned by his brother and half of it was owned by him. So it was a split interest to put into, they both wanted to do the charitable remainder trust after they had already done a small donor advised fund, but that got the conversation going. So we did introduce them to charitable trust planning, and we told them how this was going to accomplish a lot for them, and it wouldn't disinherit their kids because of the way we structured it. And then that led, through the years, they gave inter vivos. They did give to their nephews and their children and so forth. And then when they had exhausted that, they still wanted to do more. But what really put the icing on the cake for him is his donor advised fund became utilized by his charitable remainder trust. We did the same thing with his charitable instrument. We made an advanced gift rather than waiting till he passed, and about 1.5 million of it went into the donor advised fund. And the greatest joy I saw on his face was his ability to fund the first chapel on his college university. We may talk a little bit about their performance, which is usually very good, but they're really more interested in what we think. What do we think about the future? They're worried about next generation. The next generation has grown up in a technological, geopolitical world, and they're not necessarily, they're natives of wealth more than they are immigrants of wealth. And many of our stories are about the immigrants who created the wealth, and now another generation has to receive it. And I was very happy to hear the statistics that 12 trillion out of the 80 trillion that will change hands is going to go to charity.